fast today within minutes of Nikki Haley saying she wanted out. This was making a lot of news in other capitals. News from South Africa that Finance Minister Eleni was stepping down. Now, his departure had been widely rumored. We talked about it yesterday on the show. Nene drew sharp criticism last week after admitting he met members of the Gupta family, now prominent South African businessmen at the center of a long-running corruption scandal. You will remember we've talked about this many times. Okay, the finance minister's out. The South African rand, as you can imagine, fell more than 1% on the news, and it had already weakened a lot against the dollar in the past 6 months. And his successor has now been named. It's Tito Mboweni. He will take over now as finance minister. That job, though, seems to have become what we like to call here the poison chalice of South African politics. Now, this portfolio has changed hands 6 times in 5 years, apparently taking their indications from Italy on this one. The revolving door started spinning in 2014 when Pravin Gordhan left the post. He was replaced by guess who? Nene. This was, in fact, his first turn at the helm. Now, just a few months later, President Jacob Zuma gave the job to David Van Rooyen. He was a total unknown at the time, and his tenure was, in fact, very short-lived. After 4 days, Van Rooyen was forced out, and Pravin Gordhan was back in place. Malusi Gigaba saw out the last few days, though, of that Zuma administration. Now, after Zuma's downfall, Nene came back to apparently steady the ship. Eleni Giokos is in Johannesburg, has been following every detail of this. And I guess the point is, where do we go now? I mean, we were just talking about the risks and the vulnerability to emerging markets. You got that rand that hasn't been doing good things lately in the last few days and weeks. And the fact of the matter is South Africa needs foreign investment. What is the government saying now about the confidence they have in this finance minister?
Absolutely. I mean, it needs the confidence. And, you know, just watching what you just played out there, just how many changes we've seen within the finance ministry definitely does not create confidence in the Treasury. And the Treasury, of course, is the most important thing that's going to create stability within any economy. We're currently in recession. Economic growth is coming under significant pressure. You've got a volatile currency. And, of course, as you say, the emerging market scenario globally isn't exactly playing a very good role in terms of creating stability in South Africa. And then you've got the credit rating agencies as well. They're also circling. So when Nhlanhla Nene admitted to meeting the Guptas, and it's not so much that he admitted to meeting them, it's the fact that he lied about it previously. And this is, of course, what created the big issue where he eventually had to apologize to the country last week, and then speaking to Cyril Ramaphosa in confidence earlier this week. And this is when all the rumors started coming out. And, of course, the president has to ensure that he's got a clean government, a clean cabinet, and then, of course, accepting that resignation today. Now, what's interesting here, Paula, the man that's taking over, Tito Mboweni, I've got to ask you, how many finance ministers do you know have a song written about them?
Exactly 0.
Well, I mean, there's a song, there you go.
Wow.
Casper Nyovest, a song named Tito Mboweni that came out last year. It hit #1 within 20 minutes of being released on iTunes. They're saying that he prophesized this happening. But Tito Mboweni is an interesting guy. I mean, he was the Reserve Bank governor in South Africa for 10 years. He's a technocrat. He's known to be prudent and relatively conservative. He also worked as Labour Minister under Nelson Mandela's administration as well. So he's going to be the guy that's going to take over, and he's creating a sense of credibility in a ministry that has been plagued but with a lot of drama. So there's hope that, of course, this is going to send the right message to markets.
So everything you just told me of this guy, juxtaposed against that video, isn't giving people a lot of confidence. I mean, look at this video. I mean, it's a marvel to look at. And if it went to, it must be good. If it went to #1 that quickly. But honestly, getting down to the bottom line here, it is incumbent upon the government, no matter what this finance minister says or does now, they're pretty much stuck with him.
Exactly. I mean, look, he's got a big task ahead of him. What's interesting is that Tito Mboweni earlier this year actually said, and he tweets a lot, and this is perhaps one of the Achilles heels and maybe one of the things that the market doesn't like that much. He does tweet a lot, and earlier this year he said he doesn't want to become finance minister and that we shouldn't actually be rehashing people and putting in similar people in similar positions in the country, that we need fresh blood. And here we have him now as finance minister, and he's going to have this very tough job of trying to get in investments into the country, pushing policy, and it's not going to be easy because South Africa has basically is in a situation where the country doesn't have enough money. It's got 27% unemployment. There's worries about a budget deficit, and Paula, it's not looking good. So he's going to have to pull on those purse strings very cleverly, not like that video where you see literally dollars and being thrown around in the room. He's not going to have that ease of spending money. He's going to have to be pulling back. And he actually even said in an interview a couple of weeks ago that he wants to cut back on public spending. Whether he's going to be able to implement that as finance minister will be interesting to see.
All of it will be very interesting, although I'll be willing to bet that video does not impress the credit rating in the credit rating agencies. Eleni, thanks so much covering yet another.
You never know.
You never know. Eleni